Okay. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, what's going on? Hope you're having a good day today. Alright, so I just wanted to make a quick video to just talk about my setup just a little bit, not really gameplay. And I just wanted to point a few things out. So, Mason is my main character. So, I just want to show you exactly the abilities that I like so far and my whole setup. I like Bulldozer, Berserker, and I like Guardian now, and I love Gunner, right? And my nightmares and my exotic skills I ain't gonna change. I like gravitational rounds, and I like Frost Vortex, and I like Phoenix Burst. My secondary weapon is always gonna be the Hyper Surge for the most part. So it doesn't matter whether my main gun is good or bad or whatever. As long as I have my Hyper Surge, my stun grenades, and I have light speed so I can get around, it really doesn't matter what my main weapon is. That's why I keep changing it up. That way I can keep constantly just changing my weapons. But I like the fact that I also have a backup character. So every now and then I can change my abilities. Like I was debating on whether my fourth ability should be Tactician instead of Guardian. But this one I can experiment with, and I can change a few things around. So I changed my ability here, but I never showed exactly how to change my, the ability. So I'm going to show that right now. But first I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to point out something that not everybody understands or gets, and that deals with like the exotic skills. As you can see, I got the Hyper Surge, right? Now, if you took a look at the description, it's right? And it doesn't matter what it says, but the most important thing is at the end of what they're talking about when an exotic weapon, you see how it says it has an affinity to shock rounds? Well, it has an affinity to shock rounds. That means that if you put electric on it, which I have on mine, it does a little bit more of a it does a little bit more than a normal shock round would do. Like for example, if I put shock rounds on my main gun, it's not going to have the same effect as putting it on this because it has an affinity for it. So you can still put whatever ammo mod you want, but affinity for it. It does a little bit more of a. It does a little bit more. It does a little bit differently than a normal gun. It's kind of hard to describe, but the way the enemies get shocked, if I put this one on, is going to be different if it has an affinity for it. But each exotic weapon has an affinity for that particular gun. And I have examples too. Well, let me see. Even though this one looks slightly different, it still shows the same thing. It has an affinity for it. That's what it matters. When you look at the exotic weapon that you get out of the box, just look for whatever the affinity is for that weapon. Now, I got a couple of more examples. This right here is the swordfish, right? It's not my favorite gun, but if you look at the description, right? Burst marksman, modified for maximum, power, or whatever. But look at the affinity for it, though. The affinity for it is shrapnel rounds. And I have infinity rounds for it. So this gun is particular for shrapnel rounds. So it's gonna do a little bit more of it's gonna do a little bit different of an ability. It's actually stronger with that. I mean, it might not be your best ability, but what the developers is telling you is this gun in particular is designed for shrapnel rounds. And just like the red line right here, you see it says it has an affinity for mortar rounds. So that means when you have this particular gun, it will work best if you have the infinity, for this gun. So if you're gonna have this gun anyway, you might as well put mortar rounds on it. But that's because it's the red line and the fact that it's an infinity, is an exotic weapon out of the box and is designed for that. If I was to get if I was to switch it out and get a regular gun, it's not going to show that. It's just going to show you the description of the gun. So the other thing that I wanted to show also is I wanted to show exactly how you change your ability how you change your abilities on a gun, because I know I talked about it a few times, but I never actually got a chance to like show how it's done. So, alright, so basically, your main character, you don't want to touch him. If you like him how he is, you just keep him how he is. But let's say you was curious and trying to change your ability, or you was curious on how other abilities work. What you want to do is, you want to leave your main character alone. You want to even leave your backup character alone, and that's the reason why we have 4 different slots. So basically, let me see. I'm gonna switch him out, and I'm gonna use him as an example. Okay, this is a character that I used a while ago. Even though this one looks slightly different, it still has the hyper surge on it, one infinity rounds. So the first 3 abilities is maxed out. I got bulldozer, tactician, and berserker. But let's say I wanted to put gunner on it, right? If you look at the bottom of the screen, you see how it says reset track, and it's grayed out, and then I go up here, it's lit up. You see that? Reset track at the bottom on the left. You see how it's highlighted? It's because they basically letting you know that you ain't got to change everything. By hitting square on one of these, you will be able to change the ability. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go to tactician because I want to put gunner on it. So I'm going to hit square, and it's just saying this will delete your skill track and lower your combat rating, and you for a new one basically. And it's basically making sure, like, because you might hit this button by mistake, so they're letting you know you got to press and hold this to know for sure that that's what you want to do. So once you made your mind up, right, like let's say like, okay, let me make sure I'm on the right one so you don't do the wrong one by accident. So you're on tactician, that's the one you want. You want to switch that out for gunner. So you hit the box again, and then you hold it all the way. So now when I go to my abilities, I have bulldozer, this section is blank, and I got berserker. So now I can put gunner here. That's how it works. But I also want to show you how you can reset everything if you want to start over completely fresh. So now I'm going to go to a different character. As you can see, if you look, as you're like skimming through your characters, you can see which ones you used and which ones you didn't. So this character, the only one in this aisle is this one, and I never used him at all. So I'm gonna go down here, right? I used him once before. It's gonna show you, like, it's gonna highlight on the right which one you use. So I used her before. So now I'm gonna go down to this row, right? Okay, he's a perfect example. I got him at level 17. I'm gonna click on him. Oh, I got a green hyper surge with him. So let's say that I got gunner, I got surgeon, and I got phantom. Let's say that, like, I don't want any of these abilities at all. As a matter of fact, let's say that this character is such a mess, I want to start him all over, right? You see at the bottom of your screen, it says L3. So right now I'm gonna hit L3. and it says this will reset your powers, your combat rating. It's gonna reset everything, and they're making sure. Are you sure you want to do that? So basically, this is different from just hitting square and just resetting one. You can reset everything. So that's what I'm about to do now. So just a recap. So right now, if you look up, if I look up the bottom of the screen where it says reset track, it's not going to be lit up because you're not actually resetting the track. You're hitting L3 that says reset CR. So that's what I'm doing now, hitting L3, and then it says you sure. So I'm going to hold it real quick, and I'm going to reset everything. So that's what I just did. I'm surprised, like the old season, like before this new season, you resetted your guns as well. But this season now, you're able to keep your weapon, so that's pretty cool. They didn't do that before. Before you basically had a gun and you had your frag grenade, and it basically reset everything. So the fact that you're able to keep your main gun and your knife is actually pretty cool. So because I got Lightman on here and I got the Hyper Surge, I ain't got to look for it again. So anyway, so basically I just wanted to just talk about the infinity of the weapons, and I also wanted to talk about how you reset one track and you got to reset all the other tracks. But so basically, just as a side note, just in case I didn't make this clear, I think I did, but before I wrap this video up, I'm going to make this perfectly clear. Let me go back to my main character real quick. If I want to reset one of these, I just hit square and I can reset any of these. But you see how it was like highlighted, reset track? Now, if I was to go to my secondary character, right? If I try to reset the track, it's not going to let me reset any of these, because in order to reset your track, it's got to be max. Right now, my combat rating isn't max because because you see this is at level 6 and everything else is at 16. So once this gets to level 16, just like everything else, then I'll be able to reset this one. So if you try to change your track, just your one track, not everything, you have to wait until this is 16. And again, you can reset the entire thing if you want to. Let's say like, oh, everything's a big mess and you want to reset everything. You can also reset everything. But you don't have to have your exotic skill and your nightmare maxed out. You just got to have your abilities, all of them maxed out. So, I mean, I'm not sure if I missed anything, but I just wanted to just take the time to like talk about that real quick. And like I said, right now that my main character is max, I'm going to go into my acts. Because as you can see, I'm completed with Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. So I'm ready to go to Act 4. So that's what I'm about to do. I just wanted to make sure I had my main character right. So anyway, that's all I had to say about this video. If I made it too long, I'm going to say apologize right now. But anyway, I'm going to end the broadcast now, and I'll check y'all later. Peace out.